The topside targets from last night's analysis met with absolute accuracy today. Volatility and momentum are continuing on their path to the upside and are opening the doors to higher target potentials. Let's go over the charts to gain a true edge over the next session. Welcome back to the channel on this happy Monday. This is ARCa, and let's dive into ticker symbol ASRE. Let's kill 'em, team. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Let's go ahead and pull up ASRE in the 8-hour time frame here, team. And the reason why I'm pulling this up first is because this is the Gaussian band, right? So please notice that the Gaussian bands are serving, they're serving very well for us right now. We're getting the first clean closure upside of the mean band right now, and that would suggest a continuation to the upside, okay? So if we're going to catch any type of targets right now from the get-go, then it would be, I guess it would be safe to assume that it could be at the top side resistance of the Gaussian channel at around 36.94. Right, so we're going to leave that right there and just kind of assume that we're going to go there tomorrow, right? But we want to also notice that we haven't yet come back down to validate that 3204 bottom. Or actually, it would be 31, if I can get it right in between. Yeah, it gets 31.98 would be the bottom in the mean band, right? So just in case we need to pull back, that's an area for us to look at, because usually upon the breaking of key resistances, we tend to come back and validate them as supports before continuing on to the upside, right? So let's move on to the next chart here, team, and take a look at this. So this is the bi-hourly time frame, silver cross happening now. So this is what we were speaking of yesterday, that we had just gotten the hourly time frame silver cross, and now we were going to start making this upside move and start cascading those those moving average crossovers into the bi-hourly. Then, you know, here's the 3-hour getting very close to it, and you know, then we're going to move on to the 4-hour and so on, right? So we need a cascade like that in order for us to continue on to that upside, okay, team? So but yeah, I think that the most bullish thing that we can do is make these crossovers happen when both of the moving averages are pivoted towards the upside. That is the most bullish thing that you can consider for this type of price action, right? So let's go ahead and now move on to the next detail here, because that is definitely serving towards the bulls. And here is the chart where we identified what our probabilities would be as far as a resistance. We said 35.47 to 36.50, and the topside target that the price action went to was 35.49. So it came in with absolute accuracy, and then we ended up pulling back, right, team? So the loading zone also worked out too, 31.07 to 32.08, with the price action coming down to a low of 30.77. That absolutely worked perfectly before that continuation onto the upside, and also the entrance into the chop zone that we spoke of just yesterday. We talked about this smaller time frame chop zone that we were about to enter, and we spoke about how particular it would be and how good it would be for the asset to start gaining 4-hour closures upside of the 33-cent zone. We now have, let's see, the closure of this candle here is 33 cents. And the closure of this candle here is, of course, 34.45. Okay, so now we're starting to get those closures of candles, and it looks like we're starting to chop around in this area already. Okay, so the moves are happening just like we said. Okay, team, so this is absolutely happening, and I do believe that there could be an edge over how we are observing the markets thus far. Okay, team, so now, just to prepare you even further, right? Now the volatility component on the 5-day time frame has officially reached. I'm not sure that it feels like it almost breached. Let me see. Oh no, it very, 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 very close to getting the breach here into the 15th percentile of critical volatility contraction, right? So what that happens is that whenever we do reach critical contraction levels, being within the 15 percentile, and start an expansion phase outside of the 15 percentile paired with stochastic momentum with an upside, that has led to some serious moves over here, right? So in particular, this is the 5-day volatility versus momentum backtest throughout its entire trading history. These are all my samples, and it looks like it has happened historically speaking 7 times, and 7 out of 7 have been guessed to the upside correctly. I did mention that I still have to modify here the last iteration, and that would be 8 now out of 8. So just maintaining that accuracy to 100%, and this would probably manipulate the mean, or AKA your upside thrust, ever so slightly to the upside. 435.88%. We ended up getting a top side of about 380% out of those 435. So that was pretty accurate for the statistics to read. Okay, team. So now I need you to notice here that in 1 day, 17 hours, the 5-day time frame will close, which is going to be the moment when we see what happened here to the volatility and momentum. So far, momentum has been, so far, price action has been going towards these very nice highs. So that very well could shift stochastic momentum towards the upside, and it very well could push volatility to an expansion phase, which would then trigger the signal for a continuation to the upside, and then we could start observing these targets yet again, starting with the average upside thrust of 435.88%. I have also calculated the standard deviation, which is the 68% of the distribution curve, landing right over here if you're familiar with statistics and a bell curve, right? So that would be an 875% move to that upside, and the upper bound of the first standard deviation would actually be about 1,311% towards that upside, right? So we still have to observe price action, and we still have to observe volatility versus momentum and see what it's going to do leading up to that closure, which would be at the end of day Wednesday, and we would then read what it had done on Thursday morning. So that is officially when we're going to see the official shift of the 5-day time frame closure. Okay, team. So now moving on to the Bollinger Bands, or the volatility bands. This is another reason we were able to tell that we were about to face a resistance right at the top side of this Bollinger Band top. So we ended up getting that very top side resistance nicely, just like we said, and we ended up pulling back. Right, so I like that we're facing this resistance now, and we did on purpose keep a multiplier of 2 standard deviations away from the mean in order for us to determine what that top side would be. Now, if we shift this to the 3 multiplier, or it would be 3 standard deviations away from the mean here, which is 29 cents, then that is displaying a target of about 38.66, which is getting very close to the targets of about 40 cents. And those targets we've already talked about several times, this being right up here, 42 to 42.99. And let's see if we can focus in on another target. Sure, I can definitely see it right over here. Yeah, with all of these candles right here at the top side. Let's go ahead and focus in on a target there, so that we can have an edge over price action. I can't tell right now just yet if it's going to be a downside or an upside. Actually, it is a downside. Got it. Okay, I see so many candles of high relevance right there. Okay, yeah. So the target here, 39.03 to 39.89. Coming back to the volatility bands, that is saying 38.66, very close to the 39.03. Right, so yeah, it's rhyming pretty nicely. I am going to go ahead and leave here the resistance of the volatility bands, right? So 38, what was it? 66. There we go. Okay, so now let's move on to the next chart and see what else we have. So this is actually getting very, very, very interesting, because tomorrow at market close, we're going to get a macro closure. And that is I'm actually very excited to share this with you right now, because this is a bullish hammer printed after a downside, right? In a macro closure. This is a monthly time frame closure that we are about to get in 16 hours and 50 minutes, aka tomorrow at market close. We're going to be able to get that closure, and then we will see how price reacts to this based on the opening on, what is it going to be? Based on Wednesday morning at market open, we're going to see how this starts to how the price action starts to react upon this bullish close. Okay, so this is 100% a very bullish candle The only thing I guess I don't like is that there has been a little bit of a decrease here in volume, but it's okay. The price action did come down, so that means that there was an exhaustion here of the bear thesis, right? So this is looking good. Paired with a very bullish hammer candle, that's gonna potentially send price action to the upside. Now, facing the last part of the analysis here, team, we're gonna look at the RSI. So we do have a little bit of a pullback being suggested by the 30-minute immediate short term. And I will have to say that that is very, very small, as actually nothing else is really suggesting that downside. I'm sorry, other than the immediate short term suggesting downsides, there's no immediate support for that. And what I mean by that is that it's actually going to be a very fast downturn here. So if we were to put this on the 30-minute chart, let's see, using price action, what could that be? I think it actually could be right at 33.95. Let's see. I would say 33.95 to about 33.47 could be that next loading zone before a continuation onto the upside. Before a continuation to the upside. And let me see the EMAs here. Of course. Okay. Yeah, that's very likely what's trying to, got right here. There we go. So this is the EMA 7 located right at that 34.45 discretion that we just put together right now, together in a quickie dicky, right? So now, and the EMA 9 is low. Actually, you know what? The SMA 10 would be probably better off. Let me get rid of the EMA 9. Same situation there. Okay, yeah, no difference. So yeah, we have this space right in here, which has to do a lot with these moving averages. So now, of course, if we do fail this, we would have one more zone to look at, and I would say it would be that 33-cent zone, and that would honestly be a pretty strong area for the price action to come back down to and validate and continue on. As we know, we've already been talking about closing upside of that 33 since yesterday, right? So yeah, that's looking okay. And the RSI is essentially validating that potential. Oh, right, we did have a falling wedge, and that falling wedge paired with the this was a bullish buy formation. We spoke about this a few days ago. This was, the target from the top side of the channel to the bottom side was suggesting a top side of about 34.47. We closed at 34.45. And the top side of the triangle to the very bottom side suggested a breakout target to be located at 35.58. Price action ended up coming out to a high of 35.49. So the analysis here played out very nicely. I'm sorry I didn't point that out earlier. So now, aside from from the immediate short term at the 30-minute with a slight, well, actually 5 to 30 minutes with a slight downside pivot, everything is pivoted towards the upside. And I would like to give some huge credibility right now to the 12-hour and the daily, as they are both in the gravitational zone of the bull weakness percentile for a definite push to the upside. This is very likely going to get pulled to the upside. And seeing that the 3-day time frame is about to is literally making a bullish crossover upside of the SMA 14 right now. And also seeing that the 5-day time frame is also getting that bullish crossover, and this is gonna close. The 5-day is gonna close on, remember, Wednesday night, or Wednesday Wednesday at market close, right? So, man, yeah, I do think that the probabilities for an upside continuation are greater than not for this ticker, team, and I'm very excited to see this happen, as I will continue holding my position. Right, so immediate short-term time frame resistance. I think that we could reach all the way up to the. Let me go back to these charts, right? Yeah, so immediate short-term time frame resistance. Very good shot at us getting this top side of around 38.66. If let me pull back to these targets here, 38.66. And let's focus on the 36.50. Okay, so 36.50 first, obviously, right, and then the 38.66 would be the secondary resistance, and we would be styling. So now, if we can get that 38.66 resistance, of course, I do believe that the actual targets would land slightly further than the volatility bands, and they could be right in here with these targets. Okay, team. So this is essentially what I'm looking at coming into tomorrow, including that 38.66. Please remember, it's just so close to the 39.03. Okay, team, you know the targets, you know everything here. Please remember that, you know what, I think this is going to be the last call right here for the ARCa Masters course. So definitely get in touch with me, right? So ARCa Masters course at gmail.com, as all of the seats have pretty much already been taken. So with the exception of a few. So just go ahead and get in touch with me. This has been announced for 3 weeks and already completely sold out. All right, team. So, please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Never, 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 forever. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well, a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios. Yeah.